happiness is neither within us nor without us. It is the union of ourselves with God. Teaching, the most important profession in the world. Weak men wait for opportunities. Strong men make them. Many of God's children feel that they are not exerting a feather's weight of influence upon others or making a dent in the bastions of evil. Not so. How powerful is the cumulative influence for good which emanates from the obscurest of God's children. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you too can become great. Mark Twain. What makes men great is their ability to decide what is important and then focus their attention on that. A really great man makes everybody feel great. Do it, delegate it, or ditch it. We die that we may die no more. Human beings are happy only when striving for something worthwhile. A large ingredient in genius is a wish to get things done that is stronger than one's natural inclination to laziness. You'll have a better life if you make the most of the best and the least of the worst. It is better to speak from a full heart and an empty head than from a full head and an empty heart. To refuse to evangelize is as sinful as to commit adultery or murder. Executive, the man with the courage to dream, ability to organize, strength to execute. It is better to say this one thing I do than to say these 40 things I dabble in. How a minority reaching majority seizing authority hates a minority. Popularity is the result of pleasing people. Greatness is the result of pleasing God. There is nothing more certain than death, nothing more uncertain than the time of dying. I will therefore be prepared at all times for that which may come at any time. I will speak ill of no man, not even in a matter of truth, but rather excuse the fault I hear, and upon proper occasions speak all the good I know of everybody. Ben Franklin. This is a true job of life, the being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one, the being thoroughly worn out before you are thrown on the scrap heap, the being a force of nature instead of a feverish little clod of ailments and grievances complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. How about that for one of your aims for the new year? Generous with praise, cautious with criticism. As a man grows wiser, he talks less and says more. Those that stand by the stuff shall receive equally with those that go forth to battle. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 24. The greatest victories are the victories of faith. It is not so much what we can do that counts, but what we can trust God to do. Faith is a refusal to panic. Specialize in doing what you can't. Lord, fill my mouth with worthwhile stuff and nudge me when I've said enough. No man can be happy unless he feels his life is in some way important. Here are 5 keys to fulfillment. Obey our great God, dream great dreams, plan great plans, pray great prayers, and claim great victories. The 10 basic things you need to be happy are love and understanding, change, recognition, appreciation, challenge, fulfillment, and satisfaction. To feel accepted or belong, fellowship and companionship, a goal, and to be helpful to others. He who would be great must be fervent in his prayers, fearless in his principles, firm in his purpose, and faithful in his promises. If you want to get up, step down. If you want to be seen, get out of sight. If you want to be great, forget yourself. The beginning of greatness is to be little, the increase of greatness is to be less, and the perfection of greatness is to be nothing. But the worse you are actually, then the more sinful in a way, and weaker, and the less you have in the natural, the more clearly people can see the Lord when He shines through you. The royal road to a person's heart is to talk about the things he treasures most. In order to do great things, one must be enthusiastic. It is not great talents that God blesses so much as great likeness to Jesus. The devil's best work is done by many who claim to love the Lord. I can afford to lose everything except the touch of God on my life. Obedience to God is the most infallible evidence of sincere and supreme love to Him. The primary test of life is not service, but love, both for man and for God. How we use our money demonstrates the reality of our love for God. It proves our love more conclusively than depth of knowledge, length of prayers, or prominence of service. How greatly has the man advanced who has learned not to be his own, not to be governed by his own reason, but to surrender his mind to God. Even the heart of God thirsts after love. The proof of love is in its capacity to suffer for the object of its affection. There are three particular temptations that assail Christian workers: the temptation to whine, the temptation to shine, and the temptation to recline. Discipleship is not dynamic until it is willing to be despised by the world. Furthermore, discipleship is not dynamic until it is despised by the world, and the converse is equally true. Discipleship is not despised by the world until it is dynamic. I will place no value on anything I have or may possess except in relation to the kingdom of Christ. Unless I go about my business of saving the souls of men with an energy and zeal almost amounting to madness, nobody will take any notice of me, much less believe what I say, and make everlasting profit out of it. What kind of an organization would my organization be if all of its members were just like me? Faith is in the spiritual realm what money is in the commercial realm. Shame on us for being paupers when we were meant to be princes. Don't worry about your mistakes. Some of the dullest people don't make any. Enthusiasm is the all-essential human jet propellant. It is the driving force which elevates men to miracle workers. It begets boldness, courage, kindles confidence, overcomes doubts. It earns endless energy, the source of all accomplishments. You must have enthusiasm for life, or life will have no enthusiasm for you. Enthusiasm has a great cloak which can conceal lame talents, dwarfed ambitions, and mangy personalities. It has a sparkle like sunlight on rippling waters and can cause dedicated failures to be delightful. A true missionary is God's man in God's place, doing God's work in God's way for God's honor and glory. The Christian has been called upon to live a supernatural life, and he has been given the power to live that life. A fanatic is someone who loves Jesus more than you do. Be not afraid of enthusiasm. You need it. You can do nothing effectively without it. I'm just a nobody telling anybody about somebody that can save everybody. Tolerance says you must approve of what I do. Love responds, I must do something harder. I will love you even when your behavior offends me. Tolerance says you must agree with me. Love responds, I must do something harder. I will tell you the truth because I'm convinced the truth will set you free. Tolerance says you must allow me to have my way. Love responds, I must do something harder. I will plead with you to follow the right way because I believe you're worth the risk. Tolerance seeks to be inoffensive. Love takes risks. Tolerance glorifies division. Love seeks unity. Tolerance costs nothing. Love costs everything. If we work in marble, it will perish. If we work upon brass, time will efface it. If we rear temples, they will crumble into dust. But if we work upon immortal minds and instill into them just principles, we are then engraving upon tablets which no time will efface, but will brighten and brighten to all eternity. Daniel Webster. You will find as you look back upon your life that the moments when you have truly lived are the moments when you have done things in the spirit of love. To gain that which is worth having, it may be necessary to lose everything else.